Hey, it's Anthony Miser with Land Title. Came to bring you your market update for Greater Metro Denver this month. Looking back at August data, let's take a look at what's happening. So, as you can see, average sales price is slightly above where we were this time last month or last year, and we are down a little bit in the median. So, similar situation, right? Things are very stable as far as the detached single family home market across Greater Denver Metro. If we look at the condo townhouse market, very different scenario. Some of these may even be a little misleading. Month over month, the average sales price went up by 4.5%, but we're still down 1.6 on the average. We had a really rough month in July as far as average sales price was concerned, but we've been really bouncing around. The big trend here is that we are well below where we were the previous year, all year long, right? So we felt that price compression in the attached market. Average sales price, median sales price, even our condo townhouse price per square foot number definitely leads us to see that 3%, 5% drop in that marketplace. The single family home market slightly below where we were this time last year, right? So it's showing some resiliency, but it also is showing some signs of softening because of the elevated inventory levels we had. Speaking of inventory levels, we're at 12,000 again. Many months of inventory now. And by the time we're at 12,000 units, we've started to see sellers get frustrated, and they've been pulling property off the market early. So we're seeing some seasonal trends way ahead of schedule. Usually August, September, we're starting to feel the peak of our inventory levels. That came in that June timeframe this year. Even in May, people were, if we weren't going under contract, starting to have conversations about, what do we do if we can't get it sold? What if we can't get our price? What do we do? So that takes place, and we see this early shift in the market. New listings still coming in on a pretty regular pace. 4,500 listings. It is 11% down from this time last year, but not that far off, right? So 7% over year, but 11% month over month. It's to be expected that they kind of plateau out this time of year. We'll see what happens with buyer activity, because as buyers start to change their behavior in the third and fourth quarter, it does affect the market, and in some ways. So we're not putting as many under contracts but with price compression, with some of the interest rates starting to soften a little bit, we have seen buyer activity increase, right? 5% month over month. We've seen that bump in buyer activity. We've seen it year over year pretty substantially, which is a great sign for our third quarter. So we've seen more buyers take place in the market, but still a lot less than we have sellers for. With all that stuff expiring off the market, coupled with more buyer activity, we do see our month supply of inventory drop down to 3.5 months instead of 3.9, 10% drop from this time last year. But we're still 13% above where we were a year ago. We have a lot of inventory. I think there's no argument there, right? Now, what does it feel like to be a seller or a buyer in the marketplace? The sellers are just taking longer to sell than it was a year ago by 30%. I mean, you're talking basically 11 more days than this time last year, a whole week longer than it was a month ago. And that's going to continue to trend up all the way through the end of the year, just seasonally, right? That's just part of the deal. Now, the issue with our percentage close price to list price is it doesn't take into account price drops or concessions from sellers. And under $1 million, we're seeing over 60% of homes have price concessions attached to them. So, and somewhere in the neighborhoods of 10,000 on average. So this is not telling the whole story, but it does tell us that there is a softening in the market still taking place. There are plenty of places in the marketplace that are not quite as robust as others, but Denver Metro specifically seems to be fairly resilient. You can see it in the showing traffic too. Buyer behavior slightly above where it was a month ago, 4.9 showings per listing, but slightly less than last year. Going under contract is taking a little bit more work already, though. 15 showings to go under contract. That number I would like to see a little bit less than that, but it is what it is, right? 5 showings a month, 15 showings. Sometimes on average, it's going to take 3 months to go under contract. That puts us at that 3 months of inventory mark, right? But the real issue here is this is a good metric to show your sellers, right? If we're priced appropriately, we should be driving enough showing traffic to go under contract. How much showings do we need? We need, well, of course, across the broader market, 15 showings. So that's how I like to use this. If you have any other questions, concerns, you need more localized market data, please feel free to reach out to me, Anthony at Land Title. Like and subscribe to the YouTube channel, and we'll see you next time.